Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. We are continuing with Surah Ghashiyah. In the previous lesson, we started with Tafseer and we completed the first 7 ayats where the Takhweef Ukhrawi was given with on around 10 different ways. So we did mention that at the end, that all these warnings or all these fears that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives, or all the glad tidings, all the blessings of Jannat, or the punishment of the hell that has been mentioned, these are only for our imagination to think with what we can really think. But what out there is on a different level. Whether these are blessings or whether these are punishment, these are all or only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection from His wrath, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure. So coming back to the ayat itself, we did mention there are 10, but just the way we can number them quickly before we move on to the next section, which starts from ayah number 8, وُجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٍ, which is our lesson. The first 10 takhweef, the fears that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives, one is itself that their faces will be humbled. So like we mentioned and we talked about this, that this is the image of what's happening internally. This is where you see how one is feeling is all shown on the face, and face is not just only the face will be the thing which will be humble, but it's everything basically. Even here, take your face away from here, or don't show me your face, meaning don't come here, like that kind of terms that we use. So face represent the entire body, the entire person. So that one, they will be humble. Two, they amila, these people who have worked in this dunya, either in the worships, but not the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to His instructions, or in ma'asi, in the sins and the filth that they continued, whatever, that's one, that will be their waste, that will go to waste. Exhausted, nasibah, this will be another situation that will happen to them, that they will be tired, they will be pushed to the limits. Number 4, they will enter to fire. Tasla nara, they will enter to fire. This is number 4. And how it will be? Hamiyah, scorching, extremely hot. So intensively hot. This is number 5. Number 6, they will be given a drink. Given a drink is normally, you will associate that with something like a honor. Someone gives you a drink. But this drink, which the description which come later on, could be force fed. This could be one of the situation. Well, this will be the only thing available that they can drink. So this is the drink which is not an honor, but it is a punishment. Wallahu a'lam. Okay, so one, they will be given a drink, and how it will be? This will be again aniyah. It will be extremely hot, boiling from a boiling spring. Min aynin aniyah. So 6 and 7 here. Number 8 is the dari' that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, which is a poisonous thorny plant, whatever it is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, but we talked about this as well. That's number 8. What will be its qualities? It will not give any nourishment, 9, and it will not avail the hunger. So the benefits, the only benefits the food give, none of that will be available. So that's 9 and 10. Going to ayah number 8. وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٌ, faces that day will show pleasure. So these are the other people, meaning the pious, those people who obeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who took the warnings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seriously. They humbled themselves in this dunya, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor them in akhirah. And here again we mentioned there are 10 different ways Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them glad tidings to the pious now. So, and as we know that in the Quran, whenever there is punishment mentioned, or the mention of fire, the mention of Jahannam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the other side of it as well. The glad tidings, the Jannat, and the blessings that are available. So the same like the criminals have been mentioned, now the pious, the criminals' consequences have been mentioned. Now what's going to be the situation and the pleasures and the blessings available to the pious? May Allah make us from them. Tafseer Sa'adi mentioned in here that this is the radiance which will be, or radiance or blessed, which will show on their faces, and their bodies will exhibit physical well-being, their faces will glow, and they will be extremely happy. And we are doing these quickly because we normally take a long time, so I want to do things as quick as possible so we can have less lessons, and then we will be able to do more bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And I think we have already mentioned many of these points, so it's just a repetition. So it's better that we mention some of the important parts, and hopefully it makes sense, and you can do your own studies, you can do your own research with regards to these ayat, because every single word, if you were to ponder over, you will come to this an amazing ocean of knowledge. So going to the next ayah. لِسَعْيِهَا رَاضِيَةٌ. Ayah number 9. With their efforts satisfied, or another translation in brackets, fully pleased with their striving. So they will be happy with the honor of striving, the opportunity that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them. This is they will be happy with. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَةَ وَسَعَى لَهَا سَعْيَهَا وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ فَأُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ سَعْيُهُمْ مَشْكُورًا. But whoever desires the hereafter and exerts the efforts due to it while he is a believer, it is those whose effort is ever appreciated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are not the one who saved himself because of the deeds that you do here, or the amazing things that you have done. It is not these things that safeguard you, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are you meant to do in order to bring the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allow you. And this is an amazing tawheed. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this amazing, it removes one takabbur and pride and arrogance in his deeds. That, oh mashallah, me, I have done these many things, and look at the masajid that I have built, look at the orphans that I'm helping out, look at this, and look at these things that I'm doing in the Quran and the understanding of Quran and bringing the Quran. So many things one can mention that I have done, and then that person can be deceived by his deeds that they will be sufficient for him to go to Jannah, which bring arrogance. Their deeds now have become his God, basically. So one is believing and trusting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing the deeds for his sake to bring his pleasure in order to get Jannah. And then this person who thinks that these deeds will allow me to go to Jannah. It's because of me, the things that I'm putting will be able to give me the end result, which is wrong. Because a Muslim is always in fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrath, and he is in the hope for his mercy. Like you say, in raja, in khawf is a Muslim. So I hope this point makes sense. So with their fully pleased with their striving. Going to ayah number 10. في جنة عالية. Ayah number 10. An elevated garden. One, they will be going to Jannah. And how is it? The other blessings of it is elevated. So these are two different blessings in here itself. So now, just imagine this, These people are happy, and radiance and pleasure is shown on their faces. Like this, the camera is facing them. Now the camera face turns to the other side. Why they are? The reasons and the blessing that they're seeing, or they are about to receive, this is the reason that they are happy about. And Amin Ahsan Islahi rahimahullah, he mentions a beautiful point here. Now Arab cherished gardens which were situated in lofty places and which were enriched by tall dates, palm trees here, so that they appear elegant from far off and also protected from calamities such as scorching winds and floods. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, what did we say at the beginning? Is that it's with the description of Jannah, the description of Jahannam, the consequences and the things that one are facing, and the accounting, the reckoning, and so on. All these are per our imagination, what we can think of, what we think is something beautiful, what is something amazing, what are the best of the blessings that we can ever have in this dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives description in that fashion, and it goes above and beyond, even from our perspective in this dunya. However, the reality in what's out there is on a different level. So the Arabs would have imagined this far better than what we can. Like we, especially you people who live in UK, they don't really have the opportunity to experience that kind of life. Even though when they look for location, or vacation, when they want to go to certain place, they look at that location, how it is. They like to go to these beautiful areas, nice gardens and things like that. We appreciate that. However, those people, for them, it was on a different level, so they could have experienced the beauty of this on a different scale. Tafseer Sa'adi mentioned they will be in a garden, fi Jannah, that contains all kind of delight on high, aliyah, in a sublime location with lofty dwellings, one above another, from which they will look out over what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for them out of honor. So this elevation also, like we have these big lofty buildings where we can see scenes from there. Yeah, people like to go to like mountains and things like that, so they can look down and enjoy the scenery. So same has been given of this. This is mentioned by Tafseer Sa'adi. Ayah number 11. لا تسمعوا فيها لاغية, wherein they will hear no unsuitable speech. You see, in this dunya, a da'i of Islam, at the time Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would hear so many things. People calling him whatever names, okay, propagating whatever they propagated, and so on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions what's going to be the position of those kind of people. Those people, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and those who followed Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they went through these unsuitable, unbearable situations and speeches and people propagating and things like that, the media war and things like that. They went through that. They remained with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They put all their efforts that they could do to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the honor for them is that they will be freed from all those filth. And you see, the Quran mentions at various places that the dwellers of hell will start to curse each other as soon as they enter. They will blame others for misleading them, and had they not misled them, they would have remained rightly guided. Leaders and their followers will have an argument there. The followers demand that the leaders be given double punishment because they misled them. The leaders will reply that they guided their followers to what they themselves believed in, and it is the followers who deliberately followed them and thus called for their own doom. On the other hand, now the Jannah will welcome one another. They will, comes in the Quran, إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما. They will not hear therein a speech or commission of sin, only a saying peace, and peace means virtue speech. This is going to be their situation. They will meet one another in a blissful mood. Love and sincerity will abound for one another. This is going to be the situation of the pious, while completely opposite of the criminals in Jahannam. Just an example where the attitudes of criminals in Jahannam have been mentioned. There are so many different places, but just one. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا رَبَّنَا أَرِنَا الَّذَيْنِ أَضَلَّانَا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ نَجْعَلْهُمَا تَحْتَ أَقْدَامِنَا لِيَكُونَا مِنَ الْأَسْفَلِينَ. And those who disbelieve will say, our Lord, show us those who misled us from the jinn and ins and men, so we may put them under our feet, that they will be among the lowest, meaning they will be the lowest in Jahannam, or as a revenge we step over them. This is going to be the situation, the anger to each other, and that's how they will be. And we know of their argument with shaitan, that is in a different place has been mentioned. But this is the situation of the criminals, and how amazing is of the pious, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will honor them, that they will not be able to hear any unsuitable speech or any filth, any commotion of sin, nothing like that. Illa qila salaman salama, only a saying of peace and peace, a virtue speech. And ulama say the ayah number 11 that we said, la tasma'u fiha laghiyah. This expression creates a sense of calmness, peace, reassurance, love, satisfaction, and pleasant discourse between friends. It also provides a feeling of rising oneself above and any vain conversation. So this is not going to be the standard of the pious. This is in itself a kind of joy and happiness, and this is felt better when they remember the filth that they went in this dunya, the disputes, the contentions, the quarrels, the sins, and the uproaring, these social media wars and the media war itself, where we become humiliated, being slandered, and so on. Yeah, all those things, when they remember that in akhirah and they see what they have now, they will be able to feel the blessings. May Allah make us from them. They will be able to relax into complete calmness, total peace of mind, and a pleasant happiness. Also worthy of note is that the fact that the liquor drunk by the dwellers of paradise will not make them lose their sense or make them delirious like it happens in here. It will not intoxicate them so that they have no control over their speech. Like in this place that we live in, when people drink, all sorts of filth comes out from their mouth, but they do actions that they regret when they come back to their senses. They regret that they went to the pub on the morning of it and things like that. So that situation Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes from the drinks that Allah will give them, will provide to them in Jannah. So this is an amazing, beautiful mention by the Tafseer, that this links beautifully to this, la tasma'u fiha laghiyah, that they will not hear therein any unsuitable speech. Yeah, Wallahu alam. Going to ayah number 12. فيها عين جارية, within it is a flowing spring. After a portrayal of the blissful atmosphere of paradise, this verse portrays its picturesque sights. The spring mentioned here is only the one used to water the orchard. Yeah, it does not entail that there will only be a single spring, because in I think in Surah Muhammad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned of those 4 different springs, and I think Surah Insan there are multiple have been mentioned. So this is not the one which is for drinking. The ulama say this is more for the gardens that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned. And also the description combines a sense of quenching thirst with beauty of movement and flow. Running water gives a sense of liveliness and youth. It is pleasant to the eyes and the mind and touches the depth of human feelings. Just imagine, if you want to go on vacation, you like to go to places where there is water, there are rivers and there are springs and things like that. People enjoy those areas better. And those who live in that area or who have been to holidays where they have seen these rivers and springs, you will know what we're talking about. Ayah number 13. فِيهَا سُرُرٌ مَرْفُوعَةٌ, within it are couches raised high. Raised high, meaning raised high in status or position, and this is from royal treatments, also symbolize cleanness and purity. This mention is in accordance with the kings and nobles of Arabia at the time. However, paradise will be according to what each one of the dwellers desire. So it's not going to be like one standard. Yeah, like you go to hotels and there are all standard type of rooms. No, it will be on a different level. But this is just to, as again go to the same point. What we think is something honorable, what we think is something amazing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks in that fashion so we can understand. But what out there is out of our scope of understanding. Ayah number 14. وَأَكْوَابٌ مَوْضُوعَةٌ, and cups put in place. So this is furthermore in this royal treatment that has been given. So these vessels filled with all kind of delicious drinks that will be placed in front of them and prepared for them. They will be made available on demand, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has prepared servants, they will be able to take them around and the blessings that's out there. Okay, ayah number 15. We're doing it quickly so we can finish the surah in less episodes, inshallah. Okay, ayah number 15. وَنَمَارِقُ مَصْفُوفَةً, and cushions lined up. As Sa'di mentions, they will be lined up for people to sit and recline on, and they will not need to go to the trouble of putting them out and setting them up in rows themselves. So these are all blessings and all the comforts that are available to these pious people. Ayah number 16, وَزَرَابِيُّ مَبْثُوثَةً, and carpets spread out. So these carpets which are spread out, they will serve two different things. One is the decoration, the other is comfort. Like you see these filthy people when they come, they are red carpet is out for these singers and dancers and these movie stars, whatever, yeah. This is just their imagination for an owner. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared is on a different level, but these are some of the luxuries that are available. The ulama say, like the point that I mentioned in the beginning, is beautifully summarized in here. They say, I'll copy this from one of the tafsir. He says, it is useless to make comparison or inquiries in concerning the nature of the joys of the hereafter, or the nature of his applications, the consequences and the punishments. People gain their understandings by means that are limited to this world and the nature of life in it. When they are in the next life, all veils will be lifted and barriers removed. Souls and senses will be free from all restrictions, and the connotation of the very word will utter as a result of the change in the feelings to which they refer. These verses of Quran, which gives a description, help us to imagine the ultimate of sweetness and joy. This is all that we can do while we live on earth. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honors us with His grace and pleasure, as we pray, we will know the reality to which the Quran refers. So as we said, we do not know what really these things are. We do not know the honors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared for His true servants, for His ahbab. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to honor us. Going to ayah number 17, and from here onward, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives proof. This is tawheed from here onward, on tawheed. But the ulama say in here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also give encouragement to 4 qualities that a da'i of Islam, a Muslim, should have. And also these 4 ayahs, it shows that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these are like the samples, these are like examples that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for you to look at the capacity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is capable over this, He is also capable over the day of reckoning, day of accountability. أَفَلَا يَنظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Then do they not look at the camels, how they are created? Just to link it with one of the ayah that we have just recently done, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honors the pious with couches raised high. So like they will come down, it's not like they won't be able to reach, they can come down, they will come down and they will be able to sit and they will go to his places, or however it is, like how the camel sits and the person rides on and then gets up. So this we can link it to that fashion. Or like we have lifts, yeah, same thing. And the ulama say these 4 ayahs, coming to the ayat itself, I'll just link that with the previous one. We will be able to link the next 3 in the same fashion with the previous ayats. But the ulama say with regards to these 4 ayats, the camels, the sky, the mountains, the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, this is like the 360 of the Arabs of at that time. This is the entire world. This is the entire living around. So these are the things that they see on regular basis, day in, day out. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes them ponder over these things. Okay, they often traveled through the desert, So in such a situation, all they saw were the camels that they were traveling on, the mountains, the camel covered, through long journeys. They were around them. Above them was sky. On the floor they were traveling. The road was their, the earth was their road basically. All around them, left, right, front and back, they saw mountains. The Arabs are commanded to ponder over these four natural phenomena which will make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's might manifested. So all these aspects of creation, the sky, the earth, mountains and animals are always in front of man's, wherever they are basically. We, even in the UK, we know about the camels, of the animals that we take benefit, because camels is not just the one thing, all the animals, everything that we take benefit from. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to start mentioning one word, one name for you to look at, but it's just one thing has been mentioned, and then you ponder over the rest of it that links to that. So the animals that we take benefit from, even the comfort of our homes, the sky, the earth and everything, we are surrounded by these four things at all times. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls a person to look at, and also gives a push for one to ponder over the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is for scientific development. You are not discouraged to look at the creation, or rather you are encouraged. إِنَّ فِي خَلْقِ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَآيَاتٍ لِأُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls you to look at these signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. These are not some random things that have come to existence by chance. Coming back to the ayah, so these things are present in everyone's world. No one is out of these. They will be facing these things. So when one consider their rules, these things suggest to them something what lies beyond. In each of them there is a miracle of creation. The distinctive, incomparable work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is clear in them all. And this alone is sufficient to indicate the true faith. So some of the reason the ulama mentions that why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions ibil, why camels, and we can understand clearly these people who are living in desert, this was their means of transport, this was their entire life. If there was no camel, they might never have survived basically. Some of the other qualities and benefits of this camel we will mention now. I have noted them down, but just it's amazing. Those people who took advantage of this camel, they understood all these benefits that we are about to mention, inshallah. They knew these things. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created for them this thing, how did all this come to an existence? How did it came? Who designed all this for them? If they were to ponder over this, similarly, the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, the scientific developments that we have done, the corners of the world that we have reached, the understanding of our bodies that we have reached, some of the understanding that we have understood of the universe, of the oceans, doesn't that bring a sane person to this realization that this is not a work of chance? It requires perfect design. It is the work of a all-wise, all-powerful. It's just not possible that one can say this all happened by chance. Just look at what's out there. Look what's in the oceans. Look at your own body. You will be amazed. But just going back to the strange qualities and amazing things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided in this camel that these people saw at the time. So you put lots of load on the camel, and normally if you put load on something, you put load on yourself, you won't be able to get up because your legs will be blocked. But the camel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it a special feature that he uses his neck to give momentum to stand up. And the submission of the camel to its owner is on a different level. One little kid will be taking a caravan of 100 or so camels, and all of them will be following in straight line. Amazing. Huge animals, strength, size on a different level, but the the submission, the submissive behavior that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to this camel. It brings this point to one's mind. What about you? Look at your size. Look who created you. The way we cannot even compare, yeah. فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالَ. For Allah we do not give example. But how great Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. How high Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. The all-powerful, the all-wise, the master of all masters. We obey with, look at our size. Look at our strength. Look at our shortcomings. What we are made of. Subhanallah, the shortcomings we have and our arrogance, our pride against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we cross His boundaries left and right, we do not care and we disregard His boundaries. May Allah have mercy on us. Okay, next point. No matter how heavy it becomes, it does not sink in the desert. They would use the camel for these long business trips and things like that. Loads and things will be put on them. They will be traveling over them. Okay, they could have sink if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't prepared. I think they had the way they are like the ship of the desert. This is the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates them, and it travel fast. It does not matter if it's a hill. You don't need to make a road or path for the camels like we do for the cars and the bikes and things like that. Okay, you have to create special cars and things for the deserts now. Yeah, you cannot just drive any car, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created that. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us these brains to utilize our brain and to create something. Look at the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take heat from that to make aeroplanes, to make this and to make that and whatsoever. Yeah. Furthermore, that I took some information from the website because I don't know camels. I haven't lived with the camels or anyone who looks after the camels basically. I have taken this information from the website. They say that some of the camels, they can reach up to 40 miles per hour in a short burst. And some of them can carry up to 200 kg, some breed of that. But there are other which are less lightly built and things like they can carry up to 100 kg for 37 miles or so, which is an amazing distance, long distance, and the weight that is carrying is on a different height. Okay, the heat of desert, it does not affect the camel the way it does the other animals. It eats little, it eats the leaf, etc. that is no good or that's not used for any other eating. Yeah, it does not drink for days. If it does not drink, for days, it doesn't matter. It will still survive. They say even 7 to 8 days it can survive without water. Its milk are sufficient for a household. And some of the camels that I was looking at, they can give up to 35 kg milk, which is sufficient for like a little village. Yeah, and its skin is useful for clothing, and the hair is useful for the clothing. Everything about camel one can take benefit from. So this is the camel that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, that those people took benefit from. They took advantage of that. The way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it, how suitable it was for them. How amazing, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed them blessings. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honored them. They in return should have been grateful. They should have looked at these signs and come back and realize who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is and obey Him sincerely. And it is from the common senses. If someone, like your friends here, someone is nice to you, in return you show gratitude. In return you show kindness. In return you appreciate. Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has honored us, honor upon honor. One of the attribute of the ulama mentions, Allah is al-mun'im, the one who gifts. Everything about us is gift. We didn't deserve anything. We didn't have any claims over Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah gave us so many blessings. Forget everything around us. What we have within ourselves, in our bodies, these blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, they are on a different level. But look at our attitude. May Allah forgive. Okay, so the Quran asks of its first audience in these ayahs to ponder on how the camels are created. This does not require them to undertake any difficult task or discovery any obscure field of science. Basically, let them reflect on the camels, how they were created. Camels were a part of this world, and they only needed to look and consider how they were made more suitable for their role, how they shaped and built fitted perfectly with their environment and function. Man did not create camels, nor did camels create themselves. Oh, they must have made by the supreme maker, whose work reflects his limitless ability and perfect plannings, and testifies to his existence. And lastly, Ahsan Islahi rahimahullah, he mentions what needs to be reflected upon is, did the camel with these amazing qualities created themselves, or they came to existence by itself within its own accord, or was it mere coincidence that man tamed it into submission, or was it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it through his profound power and wisdom and put it in the service of man? Obviously, sense and reason vouch for the second of these possibilities, that it is indeed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator, the all-powerful, the all-wise, the perfect, the one who has perfect plans. Yeah, of course, him. If this second possibility is the only acceptable one, then it is not the responsibility of a man to lead his life while remaining grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For it is the Almighty who blessed him with these comforts of life, and even though it was not his right, it was not our right, like we mentioned, we did not had any claim over Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is Al-Mun'im, the one who gifted us. If he does not show gratitude, he should get ready to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be held accountable before him and face punishment for denying all his favors. So this is what it is. And da'i, should be the leader, should have the quality of a camel. Like how camel, he will be submissive to his people, tabidar, he will be ready to assist. Same will be like how a camel with a tiny boy, he can drag a caravan of camels and they will be in submission to this boy. Same will be the situation of a leader, that it will work for the benefits of the people. The one who made him the Amir, the one who made him the leader, the one who is on a high, it is not or a high position. He is not there to be like a tyrant, he is there to be a servant. So I hope that point makes sense as well. Going into I think it's more than enough for now. Inshallah, we'll start from the next ayah, ayah number 18 in the next lesson. May Allah forgive our shortcomings and accept the goods from us. Wallahu a'lam. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Quran al-azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikril hakim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.